education has anything to do with it? Because they always say, the multiplex audience and
more than education, it is about exposure to international culture.
Awareness.
Yeah. The last 15 years have seen this massive boom where we have been exposed to so much international culture, from TV to cinema to music to clothes. Look at what everyone around here is wearing. We are exposed to so much that it's kind of opened up our tastes. There is kind of a homogenization of world culture where, okay fine, we live in Bombay right now, but we could go to London, we could go to Cape Town, you could go to New York, and the way that you speak, the music that you listen to, your cultural reference points are going to be pretty much the same. And that is interesting. That I think is a major contributor to this.
Like even something like Dirty Picture, do you think that was breaking the boundaries of the taboo, the sex taboo that we have and the whole...
This sex taboo, it's such hypocrisy.
It is. Billion people.
Because it's about someone who actually existed. It is based off, semi-based off a real person. And for the fact that her films did well back then shows this concept of taboo is a public face. It's something that we talk about. It is something that we hide behind. We go home, everyone's on the net. Yes.
Good point. Okay, can you really change the youth's perception of you? So, do you think they're open to conversation, like on Twitter, Facebook, all of those social networks?
This is the great thing. The fact that young people today have such strong bullshit detectors, they are willing to change their perception in a moment. Yeah. Right now, there may be someone who I don't like. There may be a product that I think is stupid. There may be an actor whose work I've never liked. One film, one role, one appearance on TV where he says, you know what, I messed up. I'm gonna do something different now. The ability to laugh at yourself, the ability to admit your mistakes and say that you're going to try harder and do something better. People are forgiving. Yeah. You will be amazed at how forgiving people are.
They are. So, is there any that you can give of a celebrity that maybe you had a perception of, and then when you met them you were like, oh my god, this is so different to what I thought?
Being someone who's grown up in a film family and having seen a lot of the stuff from behind the scenes, I've always been very wary about forming opinions of people without meeting them.
Okay.
Just because I know how false that can be.
Yeah, definitely.
There are any number of people out there who you think, wow, this guy's amazing, he's such a wonderful person, and you meet them and it's a big letdown.
Yeah.
And there are people who you would never have liked, and you meet them and this guy is wonderful, he's such a nice person, I really like him.
Yeah.
So I stay away from making any kind of judgments about people until I get to meet them face to face, shake their hand, poke them and see what's real.
Has anyone ever come up to you and said, oh my god, you're so much nicer in real life? Cyrus Rocha, I don't think anyone's ever said that to you. Has anyone ever come up to you?
Not quite that way, but I think I have changed people's perception of me through other stuff that I do.
Okay.
I write a column for Hindustan Times.
Yeah.
I do things like this, live events and stuff. And very often I've met people who say, I didn't really like you, but then I read that column that you wrote, and I really like the way you think. Great. I like the way that you spoke in that interview. That's good enough for me.
That's good enough for you. Today I got somebody come up to me and say, you look so much better in person, you shouldn't be on TV. I was like, thanks. I don't know what that means, but I took it as a compliment. Okay.
I guess that's one way to take it.
That's one way. Just take it as a compliment. So, look, the youth, I mean, working for MTV, we know that the youth are so fickle-minded, and at 1 second they can love you, and the next minute they can love somebody else. And even when I sit in front of the television for that matter, I'll be flicking the TV like this, and if in the first 5 seconds you don't capture me, I'm gone. And it's kind of like a film also, it's like a book. But the youth are just getting more and more impatient as we kind of carry on through the years. And also, like you were saying, they want real, right? So how do you keep them, to love you and not move away from you?
This is something that we face every time we're trying to promote a movie.
Yeah.
You have so many people complaining about man, you guys promote so much, you're always everywhere, you're doing this, you're doing that. The fact is today we're struggling because if someone is bored, someone is looking for entertainment, we are spoiled for choice. I can sit home, I can watch a movie on demand, I can go out to the cinema, I can watch Hollywood films, in some cases before they release in the rest of the world. I can watch Hindi films, I can watch Bhojpuri films if I'm in the mood. I can rent a DVD, I can go online, I can play a video game. I'm literally spoiled for choices. I can do anything.
That's right.
In all of this, how do you still remain relevant? How do you still grab someone's attention?
Yeah.
And how do you convince them that this is the way that they should be spending their time?
Yeah.
They should be spending the next 2 hours sitting in the theatre watching my film.
Yeah.
How do I convince you of that? It's a bit of a no-brainer. You start by making a good product.
Of course.
It really is that simple. You start with making a good product, you sell it honestly. You tell people, here is what I have to offer. Delhi Belly, we worked together on that. Here was a film that I honestly did not think would ever see the light of day. Through the time we were shooting, I was like, there is not a chance this film will release. There is no way we will get a censor certificate for this. We passed censors with 0 cuts. I don't know how it happened, but it happened. The next question is, how do we promote this film? What do? We have here an English film which has more filthy language in it than any film that is ever released in India. How the hell do we sell this? We come out in front of the audience and say, ladies and gentlemen, we have made a disgusting film. It is chock full of bad language and perverse, dirty humor. Please do not watch it if you are offended by such things. In fact, don't watch it, it's in very bad taste. We were honest and people came running.
Reverse psychology.
We were honest about what we had done. We said, look, this is what our film is, here's what we have, you decide.
Yep.
If you still come to watch the film and then you complain about being offended, I'm sorry man, that's your problem.
Yeah, definitely.
If you like the film, good.
Good. How many people like Delhi Belly? Alright, well done.
See some old people back there.
People that said no. Okay, we'll deal with you later. Okay, so how...
The guy who filed the case against me, are you?
Okay, tell me, how difficult is it to evolve? So Delhi Belly was like groundbreaking, especially for Indian cinema. I mean, it really kind of changed the way we were looking at cinema. It's like, wow, you know, you can come out with something filthy and perverted and this and that, and you can have really, let's say, controversial songs as well. The lyrics, questionable, but you know, the point is, how do you keep evolving?
It's not a journey that you can take alone. It is about collaboration. It is about working with like-minded people, dirty-minded people. It is about, I mean, had Akshat Verma, who wrote the script, had he not written that, we would have had nothing. Had Abhinay not made the film the way he did, again, we would have had nothing. If I had not had co-stars like Veer, Kunal, I don't think we would have been able to create that dynamic.
Sure.
If we had not had a producer like Amir backing us,
Right.
again, the film would never have been made.
Yeah.
So it really is about choosing the people that you collaborate with. You have to collaborate with people who are as interested in pushing boundaries as you are.
And
you have to work with passionate, creative people. People who are not going to say, dude, chalta hai, I got my money, it's okay.
Right.
Choosing your collaborators, choosing who you align yourself with, who you associate yourself with, is such an integral part of being successful.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. Okay. Now, this is, I think, the question that everybody probably wants to know. What does it mean to be a popular youth icon today? Because, I mean, everyone can say, yes, you're a youth icon. They can tell me, they can tell all the VJs, actors, everybody, yeah, you're a youth icon. But how important is it for you to be a popular youth icon today?
Look, there's 2 ways to look at this. For my part, I've always felt that the relationship between an actor and an audience is something that grows over time. So when I started off with Jaane Tu, that film spoke to a certain group of people. And as I grow older, those people will grow older with me.
Yes.
As I hit my 30s and my 40s, my audience is going to grow up with me.
Sure.
And I will always make films that will relate to them. 20 years from now, there's going to be a new young kid who's going to burst onto the scene, and he's going to speak to that audience. I'm going to speak to the audience that's grown up with me.
Sure.
I think it's always again, this is purely my opinion, I think it's important to connect with that audience, the people who are your core audience.
Okay.
You have to speak to issues that relate to them.
Sure.
In the kind of films that you do, you have to talk to them, you have to make films that will resonate with what they're going through in their lives. Further to that, if you are endorsing products, if you are standing for some kind of a social cause, again, I like to align myself with things that I feel strongly about and that I think will resonate with people who I connect with.
Sure. Okay, that's
Again, it is not necessary. Very often, there is talk of social responsibility. There's talk about, what are you doing to make things better?
Yeah.
I don't think it is the responsibility of entertainers, of actors, singers, filmmakers to better society. It is purely a personal responsibility that you take on. I can choose to be relevant or I can choose not to be.
Sure.
But ultimately it is a personal choice.
Do you think it's better that the path you're taking in terms of being honest to who you are, taking up ads or brand endorsement that suit you and your image, do you think that works for you better? Because, that's a more honest way. Because honestly, I'm going to just say it. Fair and lovely products and all of that, men and women endorse, I can't stand it. I wouldn't do it. I'd never do it. But would you do something like that? Do you think that's your image, to tell people to be fair and then you'll win awards and things like that, which is absolute rubbish, but let's not go there.